It has the roots.
Oh my god, the next one. Speaking of when I was talking about Christian groups earlier, Autocephalous Mission of Moldova, a group of Catholic scientists dedicated to understanding the laws of how miracles work. Founded by Ezekiel, who believes God performs divine miracles through him. In reality, every miracle he does is a result of his reality warping powers, which he is oblivious about.
Okay, so something tells me this is going to go somewhere and incompetent, but where exactly? We'll have to
We'll find out.
The Catholic part of that does make it like
Yeah.
somewhat like really
either
given the history.
Means it'll either be in like likely either be in, it'll likely either be in like neutral or evil.
Alright. I feel like this one's gonna be funny to read. Alright. So, this one's a safe class. So, SCP-2782 is the destination for the skeletal remains of 28 Kakapoo chicks discovered in partially flooded chamber beneath the Niwarika research facility.
Let me see.
Cockapoo chicks.
Niwarika.
Niwarika. Okay. Fractures and burns on the skeletons.
Oh yeah, that's Kakapo. Yeah, that's Kakapo.
Oh, Kakapo? Okay. Fractures.
Yeah, that's why I said Kakapo.
Yeah, alright.
I've heard it pronounced as both.
Oh.
Cockapoo and Kakapo. Huh.
Well, some.
Huh?
Remember, some people do mispronounce shit a lot in real life, so.
Fair.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time,
also,
like potato sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
also,
let's just continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So, fractures and burns on the skeletons. Okay, how the fuck do I say I've never seen that word before.
Events?
Events?
Events? I imagine it's like a different form of evidence.
Got it. Events.
Definition. Reveal the presence of or quality or feeling.
Okay.
Be evidence of.
Gotcha. Skeletons events, the subjects were crushed with sudden blunt force and incinerated. The remains retain their original structure and physical composition despite damage. The skeletons are, at times, ambulatory and capable of vocalizations. -1 through -28 reset at 10:55 p.m. NCST to their original positions within the chamber, even under circumstances where the objects are damaged or located elsewhere. 2782 will move if the resting positions are obstructed. 2782 are sentient and capable of altering matter within the chamber. 2782 moved outside of the chamber are still capable of manipulating matter inside the chamber. Objects have not been shown to be capable of altering anything outside of the perimeter of the chamber. There is no discernible material, failsafe, or external force that propagates this effect. 2782 commit to the act of completely consuming the flesh of incapacitated or otherwise deceased subjects within the chamber. Matter is discarded immediately due to their lack of digestive systems. Entities consumed inside the chamber will reappear inside of the chamber 3 days later. Discarded matter from previous feedings remains and is not affected by resets of the 2782 chamber. 2782-X was a tentative designation for 8 men who were subject to the effects of 2782 from 1996 to present. The men themselves are anomalous by proxy of 2782. The main thing I was find funny was down here, updated revision May 20th, 20 redacted. After an extended period of inactivity, the chamber containing 2782 spontaneously manifested 52,561 fish. 2782 appears in what? Reasons for these manifestations are currently unknown. For some reason, they just decided, we're just gonna spawn this much fish.
I want to guess that it's like trying to make an allusion to, oh, what's the actual name of that myth? The one where Jesus fed a whole shit ton of people with by splitting fish and breaking the laws of
12
physics.
loaves and fish or whatever, shrimp, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So, alright. I'm going to go ahead and read the test, then we'll probably look at another SCP. Alright. May 8th, 2014. Animals are introduced into the testing area. 2782 will ignore all deceased subjects save for humans. 2782 has ignored all but one D-class subject introduced to it. D-0548 subject was a man charged with the murder of 3 people. Tell us a little... Oh, Research Sanders, tell us a little about yourself. What were you in for? D-Class? Oh, I think you know. A blind man committed a triple homicide. Why do you ask? I assume it's a rhetorical question. You claim you didn't kill those people. You're onto something. I might have done it. I got up twice to pee twice that night, and I like to make a game of stumbling around in the hallway. Anything could have happened. Thank you. You'll be released after this test. D-0548 appears incredulous. Subject is led to the chamber by guards. Subject is asked to turn around. The guard terminates D-0548 via bolt, then exits the room. D-0548 is consumed by 2782. May 11th, 20 redacted. D-0548 appears in the center of the room in a fetal position. Subject remains motionless for 6 seconds. 2782 turned to D-0548 and moved toward him. 2782 jumped up and down on D-0548 until he starts moving, then returned to their original positions. D-0548 quickly rises to his feet and surveys the area. What the fuck? What the fuck? D-0548 feels the back of his head. Subject lightly strokes his eyes. Fuck is this? Who the fuck are you people? It's fucking innocent. What is this? D-0548 begins pacing and sobbing, notices 2782 and begins stomping him. Fuck these things. I swear to fucking God. Runs to open the door and fails. D-0548 shouts. D-0548 turns around and continues stomping 2782 instances. 2782 appears indifferent. One instance appears to be cleaning its feathers. D-0548... Oh wait, whoops. This is a dream. I can only see in my dreams. Dreaming. Subject begins banging his head on the wall with extreme force. Subject is unconscious. 2782 does not appear interested in D-0548. One instance of 2782 sidesteps away from the subject. Researchers' notes. As of now, we know that D-0548 was innocent. We think 2782 will ignore subjects it does not consider good, in one way or another. We are not sure why he was not resurrected by 2782, but it may be due to his behavior shortly after his resurrection. You may notice a subject on page 6 need to know of the testing logs. One of our own, while leaving a completely clean record, was also ignored by the birds. So it attacks... Huh?
It eats... It eats people and then brings them back to life if they were good?
Yeah.
So, this is...
Okay, I think we need to see another SCP.
Yeah.
The only other one right here is 3682. Oh, and it's a church.
I'm not sure how that bird's supposed to be a miracle.
Well, I mean, the birds are like living skeletons.
Oh, this
I
is
know.
Apparently brought a man back to life.
this is
Well,
written.
yeah, but they also ate people.
Well, they ate the man to bring him back to life, and then they
Yeah.
didn't eat him after he died again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Also, this is written differently than it has containment procedures, item number, class number. It's like event designation, preceding events, item 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's written differently.
Hmm.
This is interesting.
Cool.
Extranormal event 3682 was observed once and shows no signs of recurrence. Only the strong secondhand evidence and a number of coincidences are currently known to the Foundation. EE 3682 has no containment protocols and its destination as an object is maintained in such an event. This record is presented as evidence and warning in real time. Plans have been prepared as to how to prevent such a thing from happening again, and where it may happen, and what may have caused it. Okay. Preceding events. Evidence of EA 3682 was first considered based on further investigation into urban legends of Sakha, Russia, referring to hitchhikers and travelers who asked directions to a town that did not exist. A traveler would refer to scenery around a non-existent town. No consensus or viable memetic properties have been identified, but locals sometimes refer to a town named Volodin or Volodi, located in a valley in a grove of flowers. Volodin may have been discovered in a region nearby, matching the description. Located in the center of a valley is a dilapidated. Say that correctly?
Yep, you did.
Dilapidated?
No, you said it correct. You said it correctly. Dilapidated.
Dilapidated, okay. 20 occupant church. No other signs of human occupancy in the 30-mile squared area were detectable. Located within the church were a 15-centimeter ivory knife located on the altar, a machete, a garbage can lid, a first aid kit, a satchel, a note, 9 VHS tapes, and a skeleton of a young woman, 20 years old, who was lying on her stomach, positioned with her hand touching the altar. The altar was covered with a thin layer of congealed blood. The blood, when tested, was that of a human fetus. The blood was congealed in such a way that was just the object bled out there. One resident of the town, Tom Tor, matched dental records and DNA of the corpse, but otherwise showed no other signs of relation to it. The individual redacted did recall visiting the area at one time, but was not able to remember when. The VHS tapes were secured in an altar cabinet within the church. This space was nailed in and secured with duct tape. The tapes contain images of a town that is not currently known to exist. It is not known if the tapes were compiled to arrange a narrative. Due to the damage of these tapes, it is not known which order these events occurred in, if these events occurred. Item 1. Not item 1. Item 0. A note in Russian. It happened fast, I think. April 16th, 2018. It's happened everywhere. There's no warning. We don't know why this happened. If you find us, I'm sure I'll be dead. My bones grind when I walk. It is excruciating. I am lucky to have access to my father's medicine. This thing couldn't change me. Or something helped me. If I succeed, you need to find Iappriano. Item 1. Tape 1. Written in the center space is Ezekiel Valeri Iappriano, last seen in Moldova. The VHS is an overwritten copy of Homeward Bound. Of all things to write over is Homeward Bound. I remember watching it as a child. And crying like a bitch. Yeah, anyways, sorry. I was just reminiscing.
It's alright.
What was that, Hatchet?
Said you're alright.
Alright. Yeah. Paid promotional advertisement for a can opener for seconds. Footage of a woman opening a can of green bees. Green bees?
Green peas?
I read green beans as green bees. So you're just opening green bees. Sorry.
Well, I was listening rather than looking at the page. So I assumed you meant green peas, but
Yeah, anyways.
how did you turn beans into bees?
I don't know. Anyways, green beans with an electric can opener. Voiceover. And you can do all of this and more without injury. The audio is interrupted by an old man chuckling. Footage of the internals of a beehive in five minutes. Speaking of bees. Street view of an unknown city in Russia. Footage appears to be taken from a security camera in a downtown area. It is midday in the summer and the street is filled with cars. 2 hours. An elderly man in yellow robes sitting behind a desk. Behind him are shelves of books. To his right, there is a wood stove burning. He wears a crucifix around his neck. He is transcribing something from a Bible. The man does not appear to be aware that he is being filmed. A church hymn is playing in the background. 10 seconds. Item 2. Tape 2 written on the tape is a former address of an SCP containment area in Ukraine, SCP-1782. This area contains entries similar to those found on the 3682 tapes. Wait, what's 1782? Real quick, just looking at it. It's room measuring 42 to 45 square meters, an abandoned apartment complex. Okay, so it's abandoned apartment complex. Okay, so it's basically a Russian abandoned, complex. Okay. Just wanted real quick to see what it was. Right. Lyrics set to video, male voice chanting in Russian. It is you, my friend. What happy day. What a joyous sound around and abound. Is it time for you? Oh, beautiful friend. The lights have gone today. Repeats with very slight variations for 3 hours. Item 3. Tape 3, it is damaged. Tape is unusable after it is initially recorded. No video. Man of an ambulance siren. 5 minutes people arguing. Christ. Heroin. Not quite an overdose. Sounds for 14 minutes. Sound possibly made inside of an emergency room. What'd you get? Cocktail. He's been drinking. Acid. That's what's been going around. Pregnancy. We're all being born into a cemetery. Inside view of a toilet bowl. Camera is submerged in water. Tags are placed in the bowl. A man in white research coat, protective eyewear, leans forward. He is holding a materials sample bag similar to Foundation regulation equipment. Video feed ends. Water is heard splashing in the toilet 20 seconds. View outside 3 restroom stalls. The stalls appear to be vacant. Sounds of metal grinding against metal are heard. Multiple dents appear in doors, followed by loud metallic crashing. The dents are caused by some internal force. Pools of blood emerge from beneath the stalls, followed by the sounds of 3 women screaming. 30 seconds. Item 4. Tape 4, no markings. An entity is visible on each of the tapes, intercutting itself into footage sporadically. The object resembles a destroyed human embryo floating in a ball of black liquid several feet from the ground. This liquid pulsates, but the figure itself is motionless. The eyes do appear to be functional as the entity occasionally looks into the camera. A close-up of the bald man's facial profile with an angered expression, smiling. The man lasts breathlessly 9 seconds. A street in front of a local high school. People are leaving from the school. Onlookers notice a black liquid trickling down the street. A man walks over to smell it, waves his hand in front of his face as if it stinks. A group of students watching the man are laughing. 3 minutes. Video feed not present. Christ, she's pregnant. She's going into labor contractions. Silence 45 minutes. What in the hell? John, the thing is septic. Get the vacuum. Sponge. Silence 5 minutes. John, where did you... What the hell is happening? Sounds of metal grinding against metal. 22 minutes. Tape 5. No markings. Black liquid pouring down the street in front of previously pictured high school. People are running from the liquid and screaming. People are inside the liquid and appear to be boiling, but show no sign of such damage to their bodies. Security footage from inside of a home. Family is laughing and enjoying an episode of the Partridge Family on a couch in front of the television. Grandmother walks in with a steaming hot pie. Footage from inside a hotel bathroom shower. Man being lifted, manipulated, caressed up and down by a large cylindrical mass of miniature redacted, or appearing as such fused at the head. The man is crying but does not appear to make any attempt to escape. View of the downtown city hall from storefront camera. The building has formed large holes in its sides, grown small skeletal appendages. The holes turn to face the camera. Black liquid is flowing around it, and people are struggling to escape. Entity roughly 9 meters tall, with hundreds of burning wings. The exact physical count of wings is indiscernible. Wings appear to vaporize people, sending bright lights up into the sky in their place. All onlookers appear to be fleeing toward the entity. Men and women make praying gestures towards it, but some seem to be ignored by the entity. Tape 6. Orange VHS tape over an episode of Rocco's Modern Life. I don't even know what that is.
It's an old 90s cartoon.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of it. The only 90s cartoon I know of is Rugrats. Yeah, anyways. No inscriptions. The sky in later half of the tapes filled with an array of burning circles. Nature of these is not known. Footage of previously seen elderly man in yellow robes. Is it you, my friend? Oh, what beautiful day it is. Yeah. The man takes a moment to write something on parchment, seemingly forgetting about the viewer. He takes several minutes, occasionally looking outside onto a view of the city in its affected state. The man turns to the camera again, looking surprised. Ah, yes, the Lord comes now for all his faithful, and for those who at least do no harm, I hope. But what can we say for them, I digress. If you're seeing this good, if you suffer well through the tribulation, you may just be worthy to serve the Lord our God later in heaven. Ah, or you can say the hell with it, there's time for that. The Lord deems fit to keep me on earth during the trouble, so I assume to work these many miracles. Man gestures to an empty shelf. Feed ends. View of the city square, burning figure no longer present. The floating embryo intercut into the footage floating in the middle of town square. People are plating to it. David Attenborough narrates. Who the fuck's David Attenborough?
He is literally one of, if not the single most well-known naturalist, like, documentary narrators.
Oh.
How, like, he's been around and has done more work than Steve Irwin Granted, obviously, Steve Irwin's track record ended
Yeah.
for a while, but like, I'm just, how have you not heard of Attenborough?
I don't know.
I'm not surprised. It's bright.
Yeah, Bright doesn't know a lot of shit.
I don't know a lot of shit, but I sometimes feel better
Yeah.
near
Anyways.
her.
Here over the flat Inaglory River, the earth and all of its fruits and intimate sets. Here we find the glory of our fruit as it falls from the tree. Intercut footage of a beehive filled with human embryos. Footage regained on the street, writhing black sacks being pulled into the entity. Uttermost Siberia audio distorts. 2 reconnaissance drones are visible in the frame. Man grabs suitcase, kisses wife, opens the front door. His home is revealed to be floating above an endless multitude of an abstract fractionalized object. The object grabs him by the leg and pulls him down into himself. Tape 7. Writing in pencil. I don't know what stopped it. Gas station surveillance footage. The gas station has a clerk and a young woman browsing inside. A fuming ball of gas and human arms appears in the door. It vocalizes sound like a woman crying. The gas station attendant seems startled and pulls out a hunting knife. A cockroach on a miniature, fully operational motorcycle. Its thorax has been bent over to such an extent the abdomen has been destroyed in what appears to be a successful attempt at piloting the small vehicle into the sunset. Tape 8. VHS tape with a white label, writing, "What could have we done?" Discovery Channel footage. A human placenta orbited by the moon 2 hours. Old man in robes standing behind his desk at the window. The man is nodding slowly. He turns to the camera and smiles gently. "Do not be so soft. The troubles have only just begun." The man opens a Bible. Romans 8:18. I consider that the sufferings of this present time are as nothing compared with the glory to be reserved for us. What an exciting thought. Meditate on these words. Love is cruel. Creature similar to a shrew but covered on its back are reptilian scales. Its mouth is elongated with nostrils at the end. It is nibbling a rotten discarded yogurt container. What he meant? We are all born into a cemetery. Tape 9, writing in pencil, find him. Convoy of ambulances drive into town square, followed by fire trucks. The fire crew unravel their hoses and begin spraying the residences and the buildings down with fire. Wait! The fire crews are spraying people with fire?
Nice.
What the fuck? Alright, klaxons begin sounding, a distinct voice is heard over a loudspeaker. This is an emergency broadcast. If you are hearing this, return to your homes and take protective action immediately. This is an emergency broadcast. Area view of the town. 5 white Mil Mi-28 and 1 Ka-52 attack helicopter appear in camera view, 2 carrying between them what appears to be some sort of explosive. The markings on the device are identical to what Foundation assets in this region may use in such an event. 1 helicopter leads and fires a missile at the clearing in front of it. Fixed close-up view of a 10-meter area on the ground. The ground is covered in burning amorphic masses. What is visible in the frame has been completely altered, composed of entities and phenomena previously seen on the tapes. The camera slowly begins pulling away. Soldiers 10 in total, with insignia matching those of MTF Nu 6 and 8, Tachyon and work or rappelling down from the helicopters. Several of the soldiers are equipped with portable flamethrowers and grenades, in addition to their standard issue rifles. As the visual radius expands, it is revealed that the area is the same town hall square. A crew begins arming the device while a team sets the perimeter. Members of News 8 down expunge. In preparation, the view from the camera is distinct now. 3 blocks of the downtown is visible. The camera is suddenly covered in a thick black film. An anthropomorphic creature composed of black liquid appears to have launched itself off of the camera and toward the group. The camera begins to fall. The entity is finally seen being shot mid-air and explodes. Camera rotates rapidly while in descent. View swings down to reveal the ground. The earth is stretching as if it were organic material. The earth begins to rip. Something similar to television static is visible beneath the seams. The camera collides with the ground. A human's feet walk into frame. A young woman holding a garbage can lid and a machete bends into view to pick it up. She is breathing heavily, watching over her shoulder. She is covered in blood and black fluid. Feed ends. And that's it of this SCP. So that's pretty much all the information we got from this group. Like, both anomalies are not good.
Yes.
But I'm not sure if 3682 was caused by the autocephalous mission of Moldova. Intentionally. Because I think the man that was speaking the verses was Ezekiel.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted that to happen.
Should we glance at holy science?
Sure. I think this is just a... Yeah.
Oh. That
Yeah.
looks like it has more information.
Okay. Holy science. Alright, to my helpers, the autocephalous mission of Moldova was founded just 11 years after I have arrived in Europe and 6 years after I found the fingerprints of his hands on my work. I am the single originator of this order, and at times I am its only friend. I was born in a foreign place, completely Warsaw, Indiana. There in the Americas, I had access to books, but had spent most of my life in the shadow of the law with my surrogate mother, Alexis. It is here now in Europe, and through the miracle of rebirth, that I've been able to take root and realize these works. 3 days after my death, I was resurrected, and that was the first lesson I had learned. Wait, was that the same how many days it took Jesus to come back? Wasn't it 3 days? Or was I wrong? It's been a while since I read the Bible.
It was...
Yes, Miss. Yes,
Okay.
Miss Christian.
Also,
He's
it's
basically
funny that
comparing himself to Jesus.
also it's funny how you say it's funny how you're a Christian but you don't know that.
I read the
To
whole
be
Bible
fair,
in my
I think that's an
low
obscure
teens.
thing that most people don't actually know.
It's the entire basis of the 3 holidays of Easter.
Yeah.
Like the days that go into the Easter holiday.
Yeah, and plus I haven't read the Bible since I was
Well,
like
yeah,
15.
we know about, like, Jesus resurrecting, but how many people know about, like, 3 days? I was never taught that, but I was also never raised Christian. And I thought there was only Easter, not 2 other days relating to it.
Yeah, there's Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and then the Monday after. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I'm starting to remember that. I basically stopped celebrating that because I was part of a church that wasn't friendly to gay people.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's fair. Okay, so besides that, I'm guessing that, like, he's not literally trying to compare himself to Jesus. I have the, like, or I should say, he's not comparing himself to Jesus. I have a feeling that he literally did die and then come back because he's reality bending.
Yeah, alright. We'll find out more. Alright, I learned the string of laws that I needed to form in my mind, the natural laws that needed to be recognized in order to realize this miracle. From that moment on, I was a fanatic, all about God's favorite. I have submitted to none my constitution, but I walk, and there the path appears before me. I would submit miracles to the church, these physical probable revelations, but I might be destroyed and my order gone with me. These things you must understand.
You just pronounced provable as probable.
Shut up. The order is small at most times. I offered the traditional Catholic service at my church in Moldova. Oftentimes, I will stumble on the divine footprints, and I must enlist help from secular scientists and philosophers such as yourself. My mission exists during these times. These instructions are for you only and must not be relayed to those who work beneath you, as only you have been privileged with these words. At times, projects will place our helpers in direct view of visible, tangible, holy law. Those who participate in this order may not participate in any other sect of... How the fuck do I say that?
Ecclesiastic.
Fuck.
Ecclesiastic.
Christian, or Catholic faith afterward, but they may leave unless it is their purpose to stay within the order in one form or another. It is important that you hold your speculation at the door. I'll provide for you physical miracles that I have produced through these. Why is there so many hard words?
Constellation.
Alright, constellation physics at these times overwhelm me and spill out through my hands. I am not a learned scientist, and as such I require those like yourselves to dissect the exact mechanisms that allow these items and phenomena to work. By no means will you dismiss any of these materials as magic or anomaly, not in conversations with me or your colleagues. I understand that your thoughts are private, but I cannot stomach it. I hope in your time with me you recognize that his miracles work within the confines and by the same rules as anything else in our physical reality. After having read the sentence and with my prayers, you will know exactly what happened in Newarika. Newarika. Yeah, we just read that one. Oh no. There was a time when my personal goal was to bring about the second advent, utilizing and adapting my miracles to bring about parousia. The Lord helps those who help themselves. I was fond of this trans-Christian view at the time, but after years of unanswered prayers and many a demon sent upon me, I realized I was not using the science properly. I have consulted with God following these events. Having atoned for my sins, I have developed a device that proves that the Lord has forgiven me for his sins. I ask if he has forgiven me for Daniel, for Wormwood, for Conquest, and so on, and he does. So he did do that on purpose.
I don't think he meant for the people to actually... Like, I don't think he meant for it to have bad outcomes.
Right.
But he did, like, set in motion the things that were being done.
Yeah. I realized that before we can expect the return of our Lord and Savior, we must first overcome his adversary. I believe I was too overzealous or enthusiastic with the miracles. We must start with the head of revelations and not the feet. I have used many blessings of abundance and destiny to provide for a group of scientists a large portion of land in Siberia. Oh no. The only times I see Siberian SCP articles is I think of a certain SCP. I have traveled these lands alone, and I feel that the ground here has sour history. Land here has been turned in on itself many times over. I believe this may be the proper environment to go about breeding and developing the opponent. I find the aesthetics of the whole operation are half the battle. Sometimes I feel his generosity depends entirely on my mood. While Rome may be more fitting based on some modernist interpretations, it is much harder to accomplish great feats of evil unnoticed there. I'll provide for you study materials. I come upon things here and there. I am not entirely sure how I go about doing it. I believe I have been blessed. I woke one morning and find my friend's joints ground together like chalk. I remembered these divine symbols, and I watched flocks of birds fall to the ground. I will need to replant the tomato garden. Never have I been given a gift such as this. This is surely a sign, and I must believe this is the path he has set me down on. Upon successful completion, you'll be awarded an object which I have blessed that will turn minerals into gold. I will demonstrate this process for you before the project begins. If you wish, I can reward you a lump sum, money orders, which the Lord has in his infinite wisdom given me the ability to create. I am honest with all people who work with me. This will be an incredibly dangerous task, and after it is completed, the world may not exist as we know it. If the world does end and Jesus comes down with his sword, know that your works here will most likely earn you admission to heaven. There is also the possibility that, given the history of some of our projects, you will die, but even then you might still get into heaven. You may die multiple times. You may be transmorgified.
Transorc.
Shut up.
Transmogrified.
Transmogrified. You may become science. I have witnessed all these things. The holy rules are abstract. None of my colleagues have been able to put them into paper. You will sign the liability waivers before the project begins, or I will pray to Michael at his gates, asking that you forgot about all of this. I understand these things are difficult to believe, and many of you have read through this paper purely for its novelty. I will demonstrate the blessing of prophecy for you through this poem. Listen to the ground, there is movement all around. Its silhouette frames the horizon, Perugia. I look forward from hearing you soon. Regards, Ezekiel Valeri Ayuprianu, Primate Autocephalous Mission of Moldova. Okay, so we got a bunch of information right there.
Like, we got a bunch of information, but my brain doesn't know how to parse it.
Well, it also said something bad happened in Wormwood, which is right here.
Yeah.
So should we look at Wormwood? And it's a Keter. Oh no.
Oh.
SCP-1616 is a common hamster with no genetic abnormalities. The subject behaves as a normal hamster would. Wait, I think this is the hamster that eats anything.
Oh.
Yeah, 1616 typically consumes organic matter which appears in its cheek over a course of time if possible. Been observed producing carrots, hamster... Oh wait, no it doesn't. Hold on. Anomalous properties of 1616 present themselves when 1616 begins feeding. One or both of 1616's cheeks will expand, containing an object previously seen by 1616. If the object in question is inorganic, 1616 will remove the object from its mouth and ignore it. Similar feeding has been observed for most organic materials, save for wood, which 1616 will not completely consume, but return to and nibble like a common hamster would for dental upkeep. Okay, how does it get in the Keter? 1616 typically consumes organic matter, which appears in its cheek over a course of time if possible. 1616 has been observed producing carrots, hamster feed, candy, and substantial amounts of flesh from its cheeks. 1616 cheeks will expand to accommodate any matter it produces, in one case expanding to accommodate for the size of one baby elephant weighing 105 kilograms. How the fuck does that come out of a hamster? What?
I don't know.
1616 does not suffer any trauma from the expansion, as the tissue appears to maintain density and composition as it expands. 1616's jaw will retract and expand to remove an object from its mouth. If the object in question is unable to be moved by 1616's power alone, it will usually be emancipated by 1616, moving backwards away from the object. If 1616 lacks the ability to move away from the subject due to lack of traction, it will simply retract its jaw and regurgitate it, pushing itself away. Assume 1616 has difficulties consuming a still living object depending on its size.
Oh.
In the case of biological matter, emancipated from organic subjects, nervous tissue seems to respond as if you were still in the host body. Subjects report feeling pain as if it were happening under normal circumstances, and nervous tissue is not disconnected at all, suggesting a sort of connection between the inside of 1616's mouth and the host subject. Due to its nature, it is recommended 1616 not to be exposed to any photographs or illustrations, especially those considered dangerous. It is not confirmed whether or not 1616's feeding process will be harmful or successful to 1616 with hazardous objects. 1616 will emancipate small portions of matter from the cell wall or its entirety. At any given time, this occurs is most likely the object disturbed. Oh wait, hold on. We might see why it's key during this test log. Test log 1616-T6, Dr. Breen. Place 1616's cage onto the main testing table and release the lever. D10-2903 releases the latch on 1616's cage. 1616 leaves the cage and onto the table. Okay, hey, he's kinda cute. Continue observing 1616 until instructed otherwise. Can I pet him? I don't see why not. D10-29-3 picks up 1616 and begins stroking his head. D10-29-3 later sets 1616 down and begins observing. No abnormal activity for 12 minutes. Doc, this thing is really cute and all, but can I just leave now? No abnormal activity for 20 minutes. 1616 is now moving back and forth along the length of the table. 1616 pauses and sits in his rear. His left cheek appears to expand 3 times its size. D10-29-3 begins screaming loudly. D10-29-3's eye begins receding into the optical cavity. What the fuck? Oh my god, oh my god! D10-29-3 begins crying and banging on the door to the containment cell. Get it the fuck away from me! Get it, oh fuck, please, why? D10-29-3's left eye is gone at this point. 1616's jaw appears to retract and expand. 1616 started pulling the respective eye out of its cheek, cleaning it and nibbling on it for a few moments before placing it back into its mouth. An optical nerve is also visible attached to the eye and leading into 1616's mouth. Jesus Christ! So I was right. So basically, all 3 of the anomalies we've read so far were dangerous.
Should we just label them as incompetent good?
That was kind of my vibe. Like, I feel like they're trying to make the world a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the belief that they're doing something, like, a wholly good. But
was that a pun?
No, I wasn't meaning it to be a pun.
Yeah, so I agree with incompetent good. They're trying, but they failed miserably. Kind of like the Church of the Broken God. Like, they tried to help, but they failed miserably.
Oh, yeah.